I want to talk today. I was thinking about doing these little sales series. Every time I do an ice bath, do a sales lesson. That'd be fun. So one thing today, my wife is going to do an ice bath for the first time. So we'll see if I video her or not. See if she'll let me. She's never done one before, so that'll be fun. But I was thinking about fear. Yesterday I heard a really good quote that fear either paralyzes people or it motivates you to do something about it and to overcome it. Most people, I think we can all agree, are paralyzed by fear, and it stops them. It makes them go another direction, try something different. Where if you can overcome fear, work on yourself, that's the whole point. The point of fear, in my opinion, is to cause you to work on something, work on yourself. That's why I love personal development. Work on your fitness, work on your business skills, work on your sales skills, work on something, your relationships. Fear should cause us to take action of some sort. But we all know most of the time fear paralyzes us. And I remember, I'm a sports fan, so I always talk about I appreciate greatness, whether it's music or a great actor or a great business person, but especially athletes. I appreciate athletes. I've been in athletics my whole life. I've been a highly competitive water skier, racquetball player, several different things I've done, ninja warrior, rock climber, and now I'm into jiu-jitsu. I mean, there's a lot of things that are fun and great life lessons. I drove sports cars for 9 years and raced. I love racing, driving high-performance cars. But I remember the 1989 Tour de France. If anybody's a cycling fan, I was a cyclist in college. Of course you were. Of course you were. I cycled a lot when I was younger, and then I cycled in high school and did some races, and then was in cycling in college as well. But in 1989, when I was 19, I watched the Tour de France. I watched it every year. But Greg LeMond and Laurent Fignon, the Frenchman, went down to the wire. In fact, the final stage of the tour was a 24-kilometer time trial. And Greg LeMond was in second place, the American, to Laurent Fignon, the Frenchman, going into that final stage by 50 seconds. So 50 seconds is a lot of time to make up in a 24-kilometer time trial. Nobody thought he was going to do it. Pretty much Laurent Fignon was going to win the tour. Well, if you haven't watched it, go to YouTube and watch this, the final time trial of the 1989 Tour de France. It is riveting. It's amazing. And one of the coolest things about it, to let the cat out of the bag here, Greg LeMond rode the time trial at almost 34 miles an hour for 24 kilometers, the average, which is a world record. And nobody had ever ridden a time trial that fast. And he was just doing incredible things athletically. He won the time trial by 58 seconds. So he beat Laurent Fignon in the tour by 8 seconds, the closest tour finish ever. It was just amazing. He collapsed when he crossed the finish line. Unbelievable. One of the things I learned later that made the story even more compelling was Greg LeMond's radio didn't work, and he didn't have any communication with his team. Typically in a time trial like that, you're getting segment times, and you're getting to feedback on how far or behind, how far ahead are you or how far behind are you of your competitor. Well, Laurent Fignon's radio worked. He got all the time splits. He was, here's how far LeMond is ahead of you. Here's how much time you're losing. And his team was like a cheerleader to him on the radio, pushing him. This is Laurent Fignon. LeMond had nothing. He had no communication with his team. So he did that all by himself. Any of those, that are in athletics understand being pushed from the outside does help. Well, there's 4 minutes already. Being pushed from the outside helps. So being pushed by yourself, and I was a long distance runner for many years, I can tell you that's very difficult to really push and maximize with no outside help at all. Not knowing where anybody else is, not knowing if you're ahead or behind. And they interviewed him at the end of the race. He said, I was going as hard as I could go. It wouldn't have mattered what the team said. That is really mentally tough. It is very, very difficult to do that. If you're a distance athlete, you understand this. It's hard to push your body, really push your body to its limits. Our minds give up way before our bodies do. If you can get to the point where you can push your body 100%, just yourself, with no external motivation, that is doing something about fear. Greg LeMond was scared going to that last time trial. He's like, I didn't think I was going to win the tour. I'm just going to give it my best. I didn't think I was going to win. I didn't think I could make up 50 seconds in a 24-kilometer time trial. Fear most people get paralyzed by it. You see that in athletics all the time, whether it's a fight, a boxing match, a football game. There's a favorite, and then there's the underdog, and usually the underdog has lost before they even start. They've lost because they're afraid of the other team or the opponent. The reputation of the other person has already won. But every now and then somebody comes in there that's not afraid. Every now and then somebody comes in there that uses fear. Maybe they are afraid, but they're not paralyzed, I should say. They're not paralyzed by their fear. They're motivated by that fear to take action. So in 2023, that's what I want the theme to be for you is, hey, yeah, I'm afraid of certain things. I'm afraid certain things aren't going to go. We all have fears. But are you letting your fears paralyze you? Or are you allowing those fears to motivate you to do something about it and take action? That's where greatness comes in.